that ID variable would become your column heading. The only caveat over here is that your ID variable should contain only unique values. Alright. And you can also define what all variable you want in your output. Now you can also use a by statement and you can see a difference in output. So let me just use proc sort, because whenever we use a by statement, we always sort our data by that particular variable. So this will divide my data by that particular variable, right? So in SAS, you have multiple option to get a transpose data. You can control it with by statement. You can name it. You can define your variable. You can change their column heading. You can make one of the variable as a column heading, etc. Right? So now, while working on different projects, we used to create so many temporary files in our data, right? And that makes my system a little heavy. And at times, while we were working in an organization, we have assigned a particular space, right? Or you can say that 100 user has been given us a certain space. If one of the user is taking too much of the space, then other user will face some challenge in running their program. So what I do generally, or this is a rule in my team, that whenever you are working on any project and once you're complete with your program, you need to run the procedure which is known as proc dataset. So that's why I put that in the star, that this is one of my favorite procedure. It helps me to clean my library. So once I am done with everything, I will run this program which is proc dataset library is equal to work, and action need to be taken as kill that library. So if I run this program and if I go to my library, my work library is empty now. All right. If you ask me uh, which is your favorite procedures, right? So the proc dataset is one of the procedure, my favorite procedure. But proc tablet is one such procedure without which it's very hard for me to complete my any program or any project, right? And if you talk about this proc tablet, it is such a vast procedure that you there are books on this particular. Only one procedure you will find a book, right? It is such a versatile procedure that can help you in many ways, right? So let me just first, explain the default structure of this procedure. So as the name suggests, proc tabulate, it helps me to tabulate my data, which means I can, excuse me, I can define my table as per my design. I can do the calculation as per my requirement, right? I can get the statistic which I want. Alright. So the default structure of this procedure is proc tabulate is a keyword, the data which you want to tabulate, right? Then class statement, where statement, table statement, run statement. These statements are mandatory. So when you run, so whatever variable you will define in class, it will work as a classification variable or categorical variable, right? Where in where statement we define variable on which we want to run our analysis, right? So it is a analysis variable. Now the table structure which we can give, we can create a three-dimensional table. So this we write this from right to left, from here to this side. So first is column. So whatever we define before this comma, that will be treated as column. Whatever we define over here, that will be treated as row. Whatever we define over here, it will work as a page. Now, how many of you know any of the 3D data structure? Any 3D data structure you are aware of? Okay. Any other apart from array? List? No, not list, not dictionary. So in pandas, you must have heard of panel data. Okay. So you heard about data frame in pandas, right? And the data, so in pandas, data frame, we create data frame with the help of series, right? So series is one dimension data structure, right? And data frame is contains multiple series, and panel contains multiple data frame, right? So today I'm going to show you your first three-dimensional structure in front of your eyes. You till date you have just only heard that okay there is some data frame which is 3D. So this is your 3D data structure, right? Don't get surprised. Yes, let me just explain it. So your Excel workbook is a three-dimensional data structure, right? It contains column, one dimension, second dimension is your rows, and third dimension is your sheet. So this is 1D, another dimension, this is another dimension, right? So this whole workbook is a three-dimensional data structure. So for example, if I'm storing data for year 2001, 2002, 3, 4, so my year would become my third dimension. All right. Your pivot tables are another example of three-dimensional data structure. So you create a pivot, right? you have row, you have column, and then you put a filter on top of it. That becomes your third dimension, by which you filter out your data, you select your data, you slice your data, you dice your data, right? Are you with me so far on this three dimension 3D data? All right. So similarly, we can tabulate our data in this way, that one is my column, another one is my row, third is my page. So let me first create my first table. I use the same data set which is as help.class. Class is gender, variable is age, and table is gender comma age. So this will work my row, this will work as my column. You can also ask her what would happen if we only have this variable. And whatever variable using in table schema, they should either be classified in, they should be no defined in class or in var statement, right? So if your variable is numeric, by default you get a sum, right? However, if your variable is character variable, then you will get a count of it. And this is a basic default structure of variable handling in most of the programming language, right? Now, if I am using row and column both, then the default by default it will go to row, sorry, column, and the default statistics which we will get is sum, and this will go into row wise, right? Just try it at your end, giving some. What is age column doing? Why we are not getting count? Because age is a numeric variable, Nishta, Nitika, and by default their statistic would come as sum. Okay, since we have defined gender in the column level, sorry, at the place of row, right? So they will be classifying my output on the basis of the category which this variable contains. Now, to answer your question that why you are not getting count, Nitika, so you need to define that variable over here. So you will get sum, you will get count. Done. All right. So in this output you are getting, that is strange output over here. So do you see this box? You can fill that box, right? So this box, you can fill this box by writing this box keyword after a table statement. I will share this code on Insta, so I would appreciate you start following from here. Done. Now, if you want to, get a different statistic, so in place of some, you want some other statistics, right? Like me. So to get that particular statistics, you just need to cross tabulate that statistics with your variable. So now in place of sum, you will get mean. Now, since mean is not very popular keyword, right? And you want to rename your variable, right, or your output variable, then you can use is equal to symbol to give it a name. Now you can also, since everyone knows these are genders, right, and you want to remove this particular heading, you can assign a blank heading. sorry about this because I have multiple windows open at my end. Okay. Right. Once I submit this program, my mean has changed to average and that variable has been removed. Done. Now, what if you want multiple statistics, right? So you can put them into parenthesis and cross tabulate with the variable, right? Now I'm also introducing new keyword which is all. So this all will give me the total of every statistics, right? So this all will give me mean of all, count of all. Let me know once you are done, right? निष्ठा हो गया. All right, just let's move on. What about Karan? Are you practicing this? Karan हो गया? Karan, Jishan, Karan off. Karan Singh. Okay, great. Why is showing offline? Maybe. No worries. Okay. What if we want a multiple statistics for a variable? We also want a classification variable to be used. So my output would look like something this. They will be classified with gender and we will get individual statistics for each category. So I can use a categorical variable over here to categorize my output, right?
सर।
Yes, Karan.
हाँ जी सर, वो नेटवर्क इशू बहुत हो रहा है सर, तो भी कर रहा हूँ ऐसे तो साथ साथ थोड़ा बहुत,
Okay. All right.
लेकिन दिक्कत हो रही है। हाँ
और कल वाला वीडियो देख लिया था करण आपने? मैं
सर, अभी कल तो 2G चल रहा था हमारे यहाँ, तो मतलब
अच्छा,
वो गवर्नमेंट ने बंद कर रखा था, तो इसलिए दिक्कत हो रही थी।
कहाँ पे रहते हो आप?
तो आज चला इंटरव्यू। अभी पंजाब में हूँ सर अभी।
अच्छा अच्छा, पूरे पंजाब। सो अच्छा, ये पूरा बैच ऑनलाइन
हम्म।
हुआ है क्या, पूरा डिलीवरी?
नहीं सर, वो शुरू में था ऑफलाइन, लाइक मार्च जब तक कोविड था ऑफलाइन चला था,
अच्छा
फिर
अच्छा।
उसके बाद ऑनलाइन शिफ्ट हो गया था।
ओके
हम्म। ये कोविड की वजह से डिले बहुत हो गया एक तो।
ओके। So you all were here before COVID, right? Now you all have moved to your native places, I believe so.
यस सर, यस।
Okay. तो दिल्ली से कितने लोग हैं? दो लोग दिल्ली से, बाकी लोग बाहर। Okay. Now you can also categorize your data at the row level. right? So this is classification on the basis of gender and their statistical properties. Done? You can further explore this proc table. This is a very uh, vast procedure, right? Uh, there are few examples which were given in your book, which I have shared with you all. In that, you will find that you can, how you can play with individual cell. कि हर सेल के अंदर तक जाकर के भी आप कितनी प्रोग्रामिंग कर सकते हो. इट इज सच अ वास्ट प्रोसीजर. Let's move on to the next procedure, which is proc univariate. What is univariate analysis? Okay. And why we need to do it? Or so SAS does provide a procedure by name of proc univariate, right? And this is such a wonderful procedure that it will do all the univariate analysis which you can expect. Let me run it for only one variable first, right? मैं पहले एक variable के run करता हूँ. By default, it will run for all numeric variable. It will give all statistical properties which you are looking for a particular variable. So n mean standard deviation skewness, some weight observation variance kurtosis, mean median mode, test for location or test for normality, right? It will also give you quantile definition, right? That for different quantiles what value lies, right? 100% पे कितना है, 99 पे कितना है, 95% पे क्या है? Extreme observation, 5 lowest, 5 highest observation, and the distribution, right? Someone asked a question, that's why I've written this thing over there, right? Now we can also plot a, so by using plot and normal keyword we can get all the plots by which we can understand our distribution in a better way. Yes, your answer is, this a normal distribution or not? Let me show you the quantile plot as well. Now tell me, is this, what are others? Okay, so if you look at your value of mean median mode, pretty much nearby. Your test for normality, right? So we go with this Anderson-Darling test, right? And the p-value for this Anderson-Darling test is 0.25. The null hypothesis of any distribution is, it is normally distributed, right? An alternative will say that it is not normal. So now tell me, based on the p-value, what would be your decision? So how to write a hypothesis? What would be the null hypothesis, or how you will write it? कैसे लिखोगे hypothesis नॉर्मलिटी की? Do you know what to write in null hypothesis? What to write in alternate? Okay. Except you, Harshita, I just need this answer from everyone. I know, I took that class for you. So you intend to reject that this is a normal distribution. You don't want your distribution to be normal. Vipul Tyagi, I am asking this question to you. Please write your null hypothesis in the chat box. So now, how do you know that it's a normally distributed? How you have decided that you will write that is normally distributed and you are going to write it in the null? So, Nishtha, you are saying that whatever you see, you will write that in the null hypothesis, right? What about the other? Same as Gomini. Okay. पड़ोसी हो दोनों शायद. Alright. What about the others? अरे भाई लोग रिस्पॉन्स थोड़ा स्लो करते हो आप लोग. Null hypothesis data is not normally distributed. Okay. लिखो लिखो. जीशान अंसारी भी डिसाइड कर रहे हो कि जिस पे मैक्सिमम वोट होंगे बस वही आंसर करूंगा. ओके. ओनली नल हाइपोथेसिस. आई वांट ओनली नल हाइपोथेसिस. तो हाइपोथेसिस क्या होगी जीशान? सोच रहे हो अभी भी? क्या, अरे इतना कितना कोर्स कर डाला तुमने, आधे से ज्यादा कोर्स खत्म हो गया, तुम बोलो क्लियर नहीं है। हर्षिता आंसर करो चलो। रिवीजन की क्या जरूरत है? जब चीजें क्लियर होंगी तो रिवीजन की जरूरत उसको होती है ना, तो कुछ रटना होता है कुछ, राइट? रटना तो कुछ है ही नहीं, समझना होता है यहाँ पे सब कुछ। जब ऑफिस में काम करोगे तब जाके मैनेजर को ये बोलोगे कि सर मैं एक बार रुक जाओ, मैं घर पे आके यार रट्टा मार के आता हूँ, तब आंसर करूंगा इस क्वेश्चन का। यस हर्षिता। एंड नाउ व्हाट इज द रीजन? रीजन में तो लिखो क्यों ऐसा लिख रहे हो आप। So whenever we write a null hypothesis, right? Remember this rule, which I'm just saying, right? Null hypothesis is hypothesis of equality. Hypothesis of equality, number one. Number two, hypothesis of no impact. Number three, hypothesis of status quo. मतलब जो है सही है, which भी डेटा नॉर्मल नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज स्टेटस को। किसी भी डेटा को हम क्या मान के चलेंगे? नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड, राइट? एंड alternate इज अपोजिट टू null, राइट? सो पीपल वो सेइंग कि हम उसको चैलेंज करते रिएक्ट करते, सो दोज डेफिनेशन विल मेक यू अ लिटिल कंफ्यूज, राइट? नाउ यू कैन अप्लाई दिस थ्री रूल्स in any of the case study which you have done so far, any of the book you have read so far, and come back to me, okay, saying that, okay, this is not applicable in this particular scenario, and I will give you a chocolate, a virtual chocolate, right? So, Jishan, जब भी hypothesis लिखोगे तो क्या याद रखोगे कि it is a hypothesis of equality, कि सैंपल में जो देखा वो पॉपुलेशन के बराबर है, राइट? सो सैंपल मीन इज इक्वल टू पॉपुलेशन मीन। हाइपोथेसिस ऑफ नो इम्पैक्ट, ठीक है ना? तो आप एम्प्लॉय को खाना खराब दो, ये दो वो दो, वो फिर भी कंपनी छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा। सैलरी भी मत दो तो भी कंपनी छोड़ के नहीं जाएगा। नो इम्पैक्ट, ऑल्टरनेट में क्या बोलोगे? जाएगा। और तभी अगर आपको याद हो, जो आपने अपनी केस स्टडीज की होंगी, तो आपने उस वेरिएबल को रखा होगा जिसकी पी वैल्यू कम होगी, क्योंकि यू वांट, आपको क्या चाहिए? यू वांट दैट इम्पैक्ट की इसकी वजह से कुछ चेंज होता है डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल में। याद आया कुछ धुंधला धुंधला सा?